What's up, world? I'm Matt Newberg from Hungary, and this is The Feed. Each episode, we'll dive into conversations with the industry insiders who are leveraging technology to shape the way we eat. On today's episode of The Feed, I sat down with Derek G. Taylor, founder of Menotti's Coffee Shop and The Park, an on-chain DAO powering food, beverage, and music projects like Happy Friday Coffee. In this episode, we'll chat about the potential to move offline communities on-chain, how blockchain can create more equity within hospitality, and the pure espresso technology behind Happy Friday Coffee that enables espresso to be served without any machines. All right, well, Derek G. Taylor, it's a pleasure to have you here. Awesome to be in your space today here.
Honored to be here. Thank you for having me in your world, on your space.
Appreciate it. I would love to just start with your background. Let's start with like your musical background, how you kind of transitioned to cafes in the world of Menotti's. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah, Menotti's, Pilates, Bugattis.
and then like this new chapter of Web3, and kind of was really curious to kind of track that whole evolution.
Yeah, I'll do my best to track that for you in 2 seconds. You know, I'm a musician, a drummer at heart. Grew up playing team sports, playing in bands and concert ensembles. 2023 is really the start and the heart of the park. 3 musicians come together to jam, to be creative. San Francisco, with the hopes of, you know, more people being creative together with us. But yes, born in Sacramento, you know, adult life beginnings in San Francisco, that park formation, moving to Los Angeles, 2011, just following music, technology, sensory things along the way. But yeah, I'm not good at this storytelling.
Okay, so
I'm trying to
cafe. How did you get into like?
Yeah.
So you're a drummer. You went in that. You moved to LA.
Yeah. The park was founded 2003, San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
Hosted a weekly party on Wednesdays called the Wednesday Night Sessions from 2003 to 2009. You know, we were the house band, kind of doing our 10,000 hours, like our Hamburg Beatles moment, playing 5 nights a week. You know, backing up lots of different rappers or singers. Just putting in hours together, doing DAO things before DAOs were even a thing.
Like that same mindset.
Yeah, the mindset of like
collectiveness.
Collective creation.
Got it.
Is really in our foundation. I think that stems from team sports and just
interesting,
like supporting each other. But yeah, it's, you know, splitting $150 gigs 4 ways, but playing from 9 p.m. to 2 in the morning, you know. But the Wednesday night session was really special. You know, we would bring out friends from the East Coast like Jesse Boykins III, or, you know, rock with local legends like Boots Riley or Martin Luther or Crown City Rockers, and you know, just different friends that played in so many different bands. We hosted that space weekly in a cadence and a rhythm for community and creation to collectively happen. For those foundational 2003 to 2009 years. Slowly, some of us started making moves to Los Angeles. First was Steve Wireman, you know, then myself and Nate Mercereau. The Los Angeles kind of became part of our life around 2010, 2011, where we started branching out. Like the park's roots in the foundation was really strong, but each of us had little big trees spurt up and go off into musical directions. 2013, you know, really started on the journey with my friend Banks, a really incredible female musician and songwriter, producer, everything. That's in those same years, Josh really started working a lot with K-Flay, and Steve and him with Logic, and yeah, there's just like a history that starts, growing the size of the park in the early 2013 era, which is also around the same time of Menotti's being birthed as well. I'm a drummer, just love being that foundation. I for people to come together to feel something. I really love moments, and the cafe is really a space to share all those things together. And so wanted to be a part of something, start something that could provide space for ideation, for people to get together, know they could come and have a great cup of coffee, but also, share an idea, write a script, talk about technology, find love. And so, that was really the heart of wanting to start a cafe, and, luckily had really great mentors and friends and partners to make those ideas real. Louis Ryan, Nettie Ryan, like incredible pillars for Los Angeles food and beverage and entertainment. I first came into their world through the Temple Bar, which is a club they owned that provided really incredible space for Los Angeles in the early 2000s. And so, they're incredible partners for Menotti's and making Menotti's happen. Menotti's opened the doors 2013, October, so 10 years old now, but really a space that hosts an incredible community. Originally in Venice, now we have a shop in Culver City, and in Tokyo we have a van that does a lot of production work with AEG, Golden Voice, a lot of music videos and stuff for CBS, Paramount.
So it's a catering business.
It has a catering arm to it, yeah. But
okay, now Web3.
now Web3. Thank you for this opportunity. I need to get good at highlighting these markers. It's hard. I'm not as well versed in media training to hit these markers right. But there's a lot that's happened in the last 20 years of music around the world and coffee around the world. But yeah, so 2013, I discovered Bitcoin just through I think TechCrunch probably, and hearing, or just through the internet, Tumblr and TechCrunch together, or in Twitter, all the T's connecting the C's. So yeah, in 2014, touring the world with Banks, we're doing the weekend tour called Kissland tour, or the fall tour, and we're going to 20 plus countries around the world. I'm on Reddit forums reading about people talking about Bitcoin, this thing to change the world, just help the unbanked of the world. And I was using my PDs to find Bitcoin ATMs and just talk to people around the world. So I was really into these ideas of helping more of developing nations, helping people be a part of a global market. And through our traveling through music, could just see how there's these roadblocks of traditional finance, and there has to be an evolution of it. And so those ideas really got into my mind in 2013, 14, pretty full on, and touring and meeting people and talking to people all around the world, really further opened up my mind to on-chain things. Didn't know on-chain was the word then. But
what were you calling it? Just crypto?
I was Bitcoin or blockchain, were the ideas. Something that's just verifiable to attribute participation, or just attribute, transparency for money. Because all the creative industries have so much opaqueness around money.
Yes.
My grandma and my grandpa did a lot for human rights for the world, and we're super into these ideas of world democracy, or breaking down some borders and not being so centralized and having this nation state mentality, trying to get people to be more world connected in their views, and rise of technology and the internet and learning about Bitcoin and blockchain ideas kind of like just inspired my energy to keep diving down that rabbit hole. So we're almost getting to Web3.
That's cool. We'll get further down there.
Sorry.
But that was a great overview.
Yeah.
And I envy you for. I feel like I was late to the party. I think I probably.
We're all still early to the party.
Okay, we're all still early, but I did spend some Bitcoin on things that I didn't need to spend it on.
Same, but you realize some gain. Maybe it was, a plane ticket, a hotel room. Drugs. I bought blue suede shoes in Paris. I've used it. Some of our touring of like we would. Part of my mission early on was just trying to get people to use it, and so we were in Belgium for like 5 days, kind of in between a tour cycle, and I went to this cafe every day. And I really love getting to know like owners of small shops and talk to them. And I got him to like accept my payment in Bitcoin for that week. He called me and thanked me like so much.
Of course he did.
2021, like the like $400 I spent there, like was $60,000 for him. In the last bull run, and he was able to like move to the countryside and like take care of his mom.
Wow.
So it was like
that one cup of coffee.
I mean, it was 4 days of cups of coffee and food and stuff. But it was at a time when, but we were using it to transact fairly, and like it's not all just about the speculation. There's the network was functioning, the new plumbing, the new electrical grid, it was working. And so it's still working to this day.
Incredible. Okay, so I would love to just like frame this conversation so that people listening can understand the park 1.0 to the park 3.0, right? Like, you had the park like traditional like jam band. I don't want to call it jam band, but it
was a unit. It's like Josh Lippy, Ben Schweer, Derek Taylor, Nate Mercereau, Steve Wireman, a core that expanded out into horns. But, that core did records with like Alice Russell or Durando or Big Crit. Or
Durando.
We helped. The park is Durando's band. I don't know if you know his music. But
I do.
Yeah, like he's an incredible human. Like we from 2008 to like his passing, like we were his band with Nino Moschella. Yeah, really incredible moment in time for music. Like Freddie Gibbs, the first time he did like, I can't even remember the TV show. What's the guy who had TRL? Carson Daly had a night show
with the Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah, the park is the band with Freddie Gibbs and BJ Chicago Kid. Like there's like an incredible legacy of just like working as Park 1.0 musician collective unit in support of like great genius singers and rappers and horn players.
That's dope.
The park is a playground literally for every culture and people to come jam and like have fun and express themselves. But yeah, Park 2.0 is kind of like splintering out, into Ben putting a lot of energy on the road and in the studio with Rye, Josh with Tommy Guerrero and Logic and K-Flay, and myself with Banks, and like Steve with Richard Ashcroft and Nate with like Lizzo and Leon Bridges and Shawn Mendes, and like the Park 3.0 kind of really converged during the pandemic when people were really wanting human connection again. We're like all in LA, but like separated by this virus and masked up and wanting to play and keep this legacy alive. And our friend Tim Anderson, whose space that we're at today and whose space where we really like leaned into this Fridays at the Park series, just like we set up this consistent space to learn together, to meet together. Like we were getting tested weekly, like just to get in the room together to make music. It was pretty gnarly. starting in 2020, I think. Really starting that consistency at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. But the Park 3.0 was just really inspired by exploring, learning together, sharing those ideas, just this foundation of getting together, eating, talking about the internet, talking about, on-chain things, Web3 things to learn and share. And we were really inspired by this analog system that Jack White and Third Man Records did, where they would get people together, write a song, record it straight to vinyl. That vinyl was pressed and it was kind of like done.
One take.
Yeah. So it's like we were trying to do, that was like really a lot of the spirit with this, is like get together, eat, talk about what we're going to make this song, record it and then mint it. So there was a lot more hurdles to like get through to do that. OX Splits is born out of this time. Like initially we were putting things on Catalog. I'm naming some Web3 protocol and tools and websites to use. But we were trying to find that way to most simply create something and put it on chain and keep moving and keep creating. And so, we tested everything with, Catalog, Sound XYZ, Zora, Manifold. We've minted so many different works and helped others mint works. Part of our mission too is just really onboarding. We really want to help 1 billion people get on chain, 1 million musicians get on chain. Us doing a bunch of research, sharing the knowledge that we have, and then making it approachable to friends is really a part of the mission. Because 2013, 14, when I was learning about Bitcoin and talking about it, people are like, "Oh, you're crazy! No, that's not a thing." And then it's like, "Oh, maybe I should get involved." And then my friends would never get involved. And then fast forward to another bull cycle of 2017, 18, and then into the 2020s of NFTs are going crazy. I was like, I know so many friends that are musicians, know how to make an album cover, make a song. Let's help them mint something, for the very first time, just to explore and do. And so that is really what the park, Fridays at the Park, is helping our curious friends explore and do and earn ETH together in that process.
Very cool. So for those who don't know, I'd love for you to just talk about, so you went from this very informal, kind of social contract, right? Where it's a group of friends that trust each other, to moving on chain to what is known as a DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct, yeah.
And our friend Trevor McFedries, who was working with banks. Yeah,
Trevor was is a friend from Warped Tour and early Spotify beginnings. And he was our first manager working with banks, and somebody who we would be riding in the back of vans and on planes, talking about new ways to create media and share it with the world, and Bitcoin or Ethereum, being this new electrical grid or plumbing for how we share works as creative people. And so, 2001 or 2020, or no, what year? 2020, September 3rd, is that when he minted the first FWB token, I think?
In 2020?
It's 2020 or 2021, I can't remember. I think it's 2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. So September 2020, I guess after the end of what's called DeFi summer, he was exploring and minting stuff, and just messaged some friends hey, do you have a MetaMask? Can I send you something? And it's just really a bunch of friends trying to get together, use some bots like Collabland that wasn't even Collabland yet, really, to just learn and own a network and share ideas. And it's kind of the early birth of FWB.
Right. So then how do you define these DAOs more broadly? Going from a group of friends off-chain to on-chain, what does that unlock? Just so people are familiar,
There's permissionless trust. There's there's like you outlined like a social contract, with humans that is trust, but then there's like a trust of owning a network together. I think FWB was really trying to own the network together with people who are participating and doing together and sharing information fairly. And so, that history being on chain and permissionlessly like verifiable by others, not like saying like Instagram or LinkedIn has a lot of smoke and mirrors. And you can kind of like fake things. You can't fake things on chain. And so I think a lot of these creative people who were drawn to the friend groups of FWB initially all have worked in professional creative industries at like the highest levels and are like into exploring further and like how to like own the network together. Because so many of us have like created millions of followers or, done big agency brand work to not be able to actually know who that audience is or even market to that audience fairly. Like for the social networks that we've built millions of followers for, it's like you can't even advertise to that fan base without paying
Instagram. Yeah.
So it's just, it's really people exploring to know their community better and know who they're actually doing stuff with. And so, FWB is my like favorite DAO for creative people in the world, and the most consistent for events, for URL things, for IRL things. Like it's been an amazing journey to learn with people the last few years. But it really inspired to the consistency of people to be together on the internet, but also in person. And the park has a 20-year legacy at this point of doing that more in person. So we were trying to like figure out this way to also be in town and be together and not tour. Because a lot of our living has been from touring, which is being gone and away from family. So Fridays at the Park too is like a result of pandemic happening, staying in place, but also like building families and wanting to stay more in place, but still really go deep on creation, creating music and creating sensory cellular things like Happy Friday coffee, things like that.
We're gonna jump into this. Just so I can understand the contract side of things. Like, so for FWB, which I'm a member of, I'm kind of more of a lurker, to be honest with you.
I love lurking. I love participating.
I had to buy the FWB token. The idea was that, rising tide lifts all boats. We help each other. We make content.
Yeah.
We put it out there for the community. More people want to join the community. The token price will appreciate the cooler things that we do, like the FWB festival, the summer that we were both at.
Yeah.
In Idlewild, which was magical. But all these different kind of moving all these social contracts on chain and then being in the same boat with everybody and working towards a common goal, I guess.
Yeah.
Should reward everyone. So I'm curious.
It will.
When we talk, it will. It will. Still yet to be like fully realized, right? So with the park, what did you guys do? Like, how did you set it up? Like, what did you guys all have to contribute? And then like, how does, like, just at a high level, what are the mechanics there for those who don't know?
Yeah, FWB is an ERC20 token. Right. So if you want to get nerdy with it for a little bit together.
Yes, I like to get nerdy.
Which the liquidity of it is like reliant on a decentralized exchange called Uniswap. So that enables somebody to purchase a token in a free open market.
Uniswap created the ERC?
No, Uniswap
contract?
did not.
Okay.
Initially it was Trevor with a tool called Roll, and then we're getting into the weeds. Roll was hacked, and then there's another. But there will only ever be 1 million FWB tokens.
Right.
So there's like a finite number. There are people that believe in this project that think of it as, their participation to be a part of of this world to vote on things. It's a governance token to like show how you want to vote or show up with this community to do stuff. The park is what some people will call a Nouns builder DAO or a builder DAO. Mm-hmm. There is a project called Nouns that has a set of 5 smart contracts that builds all of this tooling into one that is like treasury management, like governance, token art, like auction. It's like all of these tools that FWB was trying to explore and like duct tape together. Like, FWB, Nouns world didn't exist when FWB was formed. So this is like evolution of DAOs in general.
A DAO in a box, so to speak.
Yeah, Nouns Builder or Builder DAO is kind of a DAO in a box. Like Zora really took these smart contracts. If you want to get super granular, Zora made this contract, Nouns forked it, added some things in, made it their own. Yeah. Zora has like reforked it, made a UI, so people are able to have their DAO in a box.
So now I see your Zora site. That's basically.
Well, that's a different thing, but it's close. They're all close together.
Okay. We won't get too into this.
But so it's like FWB was duct taping all these things together with snapshot voting, ticket, and it's like trying to do all these things.
It was admirable.
Yes, very admirable. But its brand will still be like FWB will be in movies, like it'll be in all these other things, and it's like Industrial Light and Magic of another time, similar to how Zora is as well. Yeah. But so Nouns Builder now, fast forward. Nouns is a successful project. They have these contracts that are open for anybody to use. Zora forks them, makes a UI, and it seems really inspiring for the park to use this. Like this tool, it is not a multi-sig. It is a smart contract wallet that the participation to manage that treasury is based on your participation of purchasing or holding a token. So it's like, you can't rug a Nouns Builder DAO because there's nobody that just runs away with a key, some private keys.
There's not like 2 co-founders that have the master keys.
No, like
it just exists as its own entity.
Yeah, it's so radical in this way. It's like, I've said this a couple times and it's weird to say, but it's like if the 4 or 5, core creatives of the park passed away or were on a plane or a boat or something and were no longer here, like David and like maybe you and my daughter or somebody else could still manage these funds and propose things to do with these funds. So it's really radical once you can wrap your brain around it or like just feel it and do it together. It's very powerful. So it's like Nouns took Compound's governance model of one vote, baked it into these contracts. So it's like there's a daily auction of art that's unique and generative. And Nouns Builder makes all of this possible for anyone to set up any rules they want. Like the possibilities are really endless. The park chose to go with the daily auction model, which is like familiar because of Nouns. And this model is very inspiring because, height of NFT craze, you had all of these 10K PFP projects who were really over-promising things and ultimately under-delivering on them. You have capital forming in like 1 day or 6 hours or some crazy sale. And it's just like a big FOMO moment. Like Nouns Builder enables people who are aligned together to build together over time and create stuff over time. And so the park has been doing something over time already and wants to further explore doing something together over time with aligned people. So it's like this under promise, hopefully over deliver over time together, And
do you have to do you have to mint something, or how do you initiate people? How do they contribute? How does money get into this treasury ultimately, or I guess cryptocurrency ETH get held in this treasury
through a daily auction? Initially, when we deployed the Park DAO Nouns Builder contract, we didn't have art in place, So we deployed it with just a black square to be the initial art. So I think the first 70 or 100 tokens are just a black square. It's like this blank canvas. And then December, the Park DAO is coming up on 1 year, like fully as a Nouns builder in like November 10th or 5th or something like that. We're almost at the 1 year mark, but sometime around December, our friend Glassface, who's an amazing visual artist, graphic designer, songwriter, producer, like so many hats, he came to us with this idea. He's a part of the Park DAO to do these 4 layers of art for the Park token artwork. And the Park token artwork is 4 layers that he created that is like this background of like generative parks. There's these photo layers. He took all these photos that we had taken from the sessions at Valentine for the Fridays of the Park sessions. And then he took and made some Zorb-like layers to honor Zora. And he took a bunch of Noggles or Nounish Unicode glasses that we all like to make these like Noggle layers. And so he created like, 50 of each layer. So it could result in like 5 or 20 years worth of generative token art. So every day a new token is created, somebody is minting it or bidding on the auction to win the auction. People have been bidding from everything from 0.05 to 0.5 ETH, which is not crazy. It's not like Nouns where people are bidding 20 to 120 ETH, but it's still treasury like building with people who are aligned on creating amazing music and media things together.
And they can just buy that and then come here?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, basically. Yeah, they nouns.build and find the park on there, and somebody can buy a token and start participating. We have like a token gated Telegram that we use this verification thing called Guild to show that you're holding a token to participate in this chat. There's like a chat board on the the park.wtf website.
You can curse, it's okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Shit. God. There's so many different ways that we kind of collaborate and connect and create together. But coming here on a Friday, you're here on a Friday to experience some music, some lunch, some coffee together, sharing some ideas, sharing some internet.
Love it. Yeah. I can't wait to soak it all in. Thank you.
Thank you for.
So okay, I think we've like laid the foundation of kind of what the contours are of this DAO.
I hope so. Sorry if it's confusing.
And people can Google and they can learn and they can but I think it's important because I think a lot of people just write off, what's been going on in the markets the last last year or two. And there are some very interesting things here, and there are a lot of amazing people and a lot of amazing ideas. So I want to transition over to, Hungry is tech, but it's first and foremost food. And so I want to talk about Happy Friday Coffee and then whatever other projects you have. I saw some other mentions of other things, maybe some sandos, some egg and cheese sandos. Yeah. But I want to help people understand how a DAO like yours can launch physical products, food and beverage products, more specifically. So let's start with this Happy Fridays Pure Espresso, which I actually just plugged in my newsletter today, which was
Thank you.
I was plugging actually Zaid, really.
Zaid is the man.
His Pure Espresso website. Yeah. Because for me, it's very interesting, the sustainability angle.
Huge for us too.
So I think let's, I'm going to let you talk about it because you've been doing this a lot longer. So I want you to pitch Pure Espresso, what Happy Friday Coffee is, and then we can, I guess, talk about how this coming out of a DAO is unique from doing it as a LLC or, a different corporation.
Ultimately, food is sharing coffee. The ritual of that is so important to all of us. When you join the Park DAO, one of the things we do is if you're stuck on a deserted island, what are your 5 favorite sauces that you could never live with? What are yours? 5 sauces.
What are my favorite sauces? I'm not a huge condiment guy, but fuck. Okay.
Just decide.
I'm going to say I want a good like something like a salsa with viscosity, like Valentina.
Ooh. Wow, nobody has ever said that.
I'm a little basic with my hot sauce.
No, that's amazing.
Okay, I want Valentina. I want what other sauce do I
Pretend you have fingers. This is what Tim usually says, and they can squirt them out of each finger. So it's Valentina in one. Maybe it's an oil or mayo.
I used to be anti-mayo, but I really like Kewpie.
You need the mix of it.
I need Kewpie.
Yeah, Kewpie mayo.
If we find some potatoes, we're gonna
put
a little sea salt and Kewpie.
Yeah, you're living.
I want some aged, very nice, balsamic.
Beautiful.
Good
dressing.
From Italy, and like a fine wine.
Yeah.
Obviously need some olive oil. I need some first press olive oil, high quality Ranieri, which I actually get out in Burbank around here at Mario. Shout out to Mario.
Shout out to Mario.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many are we at?
I think that was in the 4.
Okay,
but,
got one last one.
If you concluded wine, it was almost 1, but the balsamic I think is where you're at.
I was saying like a fine wine.
Yeah. So
I'm not dipping any food in wine.
No,
you're
drinking wine.
Let's see. What's my last sauce? I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say a sauce. It's not a sauce. It's just like oil or some sort of.
You could go to different places in the world. You're going to Italy, you're going to Asia, you're going to South America.
Right.
Where are you going? Because you got spice.
Japan, I guess.
You're going to a vinegar. You're going to
Yeah, like naturally fermented soy sauce. From.
Yeah, I would love that.
Like wood oak barrels.
Woo!
Not that like fermented, like industrialized stuff.
Yeah.
We want like the OG, like traditional Japanese stuff.
They got that one little base that's been in there for 500 years.
The starter.
But it's still going.
That old starter.
I love that old starter.
Oh boy, you really put me on the spot.
Thank you for sharing that with me. But so that's like a part of the heart of the park. So I was doing that to share some of the process and like where we're at when we think about trying to do something together that's new. And so in some of that riffing around sauce, we've started building some IP around sauce, like a new video series as well, but it's also us collaborating to make a sauce. And one of the sauces we created that was so simple that you saw on the little diagram that David T. Fung drew was the soba soda sauce. It's supposed to be, or soba sauce.
I wrote it down as soda sauce.
It's supposed to be, I can't remember if it's soda sauce or soba soda sauce, but basically most of the soba sauce we have is like from this little starter bottle, and then usually it's like a hot water or the water from soba to mix with it. And then I didn't have that here one time we were cooking, and so I just had a bottle of Mountain Valley. But the bubble with it created this almost like crema together that was really amazing to dip the noodles in.
Ooh.
So, at FWB Fest in Ottawa this year, we did a lot of donabe, like yaki grills vibe, and then we were dipping noodles with the soba soda sauce on the side. But yeah, so this collective energy with people who love to share together and be vulnerable and learn and taste, like really leaned into, park dog, some fun, simple things to share. And then a part of all of that foundation is coffee. And so, Menotti's is 10 years old. Bar 9 is 10 years old. Zaid and I have been friends. Shouts out to Zaid, Bar 9, Jeremy, like everybody making amazing, great coffee happen there.
Yeah, for those who don't know, this is the number one, I would say the number one coffee. My favorite personal coffie roaster
is Menotti's. Oh, sorry.
We know that Menotti's is buying stuff.
Okay, hold on, everybody. Zaid is an incredible roaster, coffee geek aficionado. And I'm a huge fan. And so, we've shared employees, ideas, like learnings through the last 10 years together. And he's been working on this patent with Pure Espresso for the last 5 years, and has been so inspiring to see and learn from and taste along the way. And now more recently have our whole DAO and crew be involved collectively together with him in helping bring this process to the world. And so Tim and David and Maddie and Raven and Josh and Ari, all core contributors to the park, just were like, one day let's make Happy Friday coffee a thing. Like, let's use what Zaid's been working on to bring to more people, to bring to more events together, so we can, as the park, show up at events regardless of if we're playing live or curating or DJing or participating, producing the music at an event. We can have our coffee be there as something that's sensory, that people can enjoy at a cellular level, to be a part of the fabric of an event or a show or a space. And so Happy Friday coffee for us is the evolution of Fridays at the park, living every day like it's Friday. Happy Friday is our meme. It's fun to say on Tuesday to your friend, or Monday as a greeting, just like, hey, Happy Friday, like when you're saying what's up. Yeah. And people are like, oh, it's Tuesday, it's Monday. But even if they like don't get it, they smile in their eye, they get it, like something touches them. And so that's something that's important to us as well. And so Happy Friday is all these people from the park, taking this work that Zaid has done and bringing it to others as well. Pure Espresso is like incredible. What we've learned from cafes is there is a lot of waste in dialing in espresso. You have water waste, cleaning group heads, you have grounds going out, bad shots. Like, Pure Espresso is literally 100% no waste. Like, no coffee is wasted. It's all used for this beautifully dialed in bottle. You can literally take espresso anywhere. There's no water waste. It really helps with staffing, equipment. Like, a lot of our friends, don't have the extra $50,000 to have like a water filtration system. Wow. $20,000, espresso machine. Yeah. Wow. $9,000 on grinders. Like to open a cafe is a lot of capital. To have good coffee, a part of a restaurant or bar, is like a lot of capital. And Happy Friday coffee, Pure Espresso, really brings that cost down and brings something that is zero waste, reusable glass bottles. Like, there's incredible product there that enables people to take espresso anywhere, and it's so fun. I
love that. I was just at 10 last weekend. When
we live right there, so next time you're there, please let me know.
For sure. Yeah. And it's super elegant. It's just like a spigot, like a steam wand,
beautiful steam wand.
And the barista's standing there, and he's like, how can I help you? I was like, I can have a cortado, and he just literally takes this bottle,
beautiful bottle,
pours it into the like this cortado glass and the Gibraltar glass, adds like his beautiful milk art, and I'm just like looking at this and I'm like, what? What year is it?
Yeah, it is a beautiful evolution of an industry, Like, is this wave 5? I don't know. You tell me.
Oh wow, we already skipped the 4th wave. I think it's definitely on chain. I think wave 5 is definitely on chain.
With bass and Zora chain.
Yeah. Shout out to Optimism.
Shout outs to the OP stack. OP stack.
I don't know if we're gonna
stack.
How deep we're gonna get today, but how many hours do we have? Okay, so I love this as a somebody who follows food and beverage technology. Like, this is one of the most fascinating things I've seen in a while, because it unlocks a very fascinating retail model, right? Yes. You can pop up. What do you think about like food service?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we've been doing huge food service. Sorry to cut you off, but like Menotti's last 9 years, Sunday service with Kanye West, like Coachella for 8 years, like huge events at scale, but also, the private backstage room for LCD Sound System or Billie Eilish. Like, you with Pure Espresso, you can serve like 50 people solo and not feel overwhelmed. So you could do it backstage, but you could also serve 50,000 people and just be flying like a bartender does, because so the application to be at a barbershop or to be at a restaurant that has
expand
it really is blowing my mind how amazing it tastes consistently and how functional it is to host and to talk to people and share like great espresso beverages. So,
right. So it's half the. They're saying it's like 70% reduction in energy usage.
Yeah, you don't have to have 220 to
right.
run a machine or like hot
right.
water tower. You know, like
right, half the water usage, and then something that's very top of mind for people is labor.
Yeah.
You don't need to train the labor as much. Like, sure, they still need to have latte art skills.
Yeah.
We just did whip up a iced cortada though, and it was just shaking two things together, basically.
Two amazing ingredients, you know, pure espresso, Happy Friday coffee, organic oat milk. I don't have my scale right here, but we would measure between 42 grams to 50 grams, or like if you're making the perfect espresso martini, it's 1 ounce, you know, 1 ounce of booze, a little half ounce of simple syrup, half ounce of Kahlua or whatever, shake, and you have like the most amazing espresso.
A great
martini.
Use case, like great bars, like it's just, you can show up everywhere.
Yeah.
So then my question is like, okay, so, you know, you're leveraging this, this patent pending technology and this innovation that Zeta's done for his, you know, his business Bar 9, which you're partnered with. So, and you're getting this product into the DAO. How does that work financially when we talk about selling this to restaurants? If you're selling it under Happy Friday or whoever your end customer is, how does that transaction look? Is it purely like through the blockchain? Is there some sort of a fiat?
There's all of the things. You're highlighting that we're exploring all of the things.
I see.
Ultimately, any DAO that's functioning where most of its members are in the US, like they have to have some type of LLC or corporation that's like a part of what they're doing to really do business properly, to protect members and, you know, just follow the legal process. So there is an LLC, you know, there is also on-chain things like that we've been exploring using Base. There's art, there's a Shopify, there's different entry points for the fund to exist. But, you know, with this collective creation, there is this heart to have a percentage that's always going back to the treasury or going to the DAO to continue to do more works. But yeah, in this early stage of it, it's really only been debuted from the park and Happy Friday Coffee at the Power Trip Music Festival.
Right, that was earlier this month?
In October in Coachella, you know, with AC/DC and Metallica and Tool and the big heavy metal rockers. And then it's really been at some private parties. It's been at, and this month in November, it'll be at LA3C festival that's downtown Los Angeles with Herbie Hancock, Erykah Badu, and then it'll even be at a boba booth at Flognaw Music Festival as well.
Is that Tyler's thing?
At Tyler the Creator's Festival, the Flognaw 2 Fest. Our friend who have a boba booth there, they're going to be doing like a dirty type of boba, like Vietnamese vibe with the Happy Friday Pure Espresso at their booth. Dope. But yeah, so there is like blockchain things happening. People can go to happyfriday.coffee and mint the noggles for free with Base. They can purchase a bag of coffee, you know, with Base ETH that can get mailed out. There's, you know, soon to be a like traditional Shopify store that people are able to ship and receive bottles and cases of bottles around the world, or around the US to start. But yeah, we're with Zaid and the Pure Espresso team. We're still sorting some of those fine details, but kind of inspired by, you know, franchise models. You've talked to the salad folks out there. You've talked to a lot of really important and inspiring food technologists.
Thank you.
I think there's a really cool model here with Pure Espresso as well, to be able to have, you know, smaller footprints in cities that have sustainability, where like there's one little central brew hub and there's delivery to those spaces with an electric vehicle, and like you're really having a lower carbon footprint, lower waste of energy, lower waste of coffee and water, and just delivering incredible music, listening experiences, barista experiences, like just consistently dialed experiences. And Happy Friday Coffee, Pure Espresso, Zaid and the crew, we're making it happen right now.
Amazing. I can't wait to see how this evolves.
Yeah, so thanks for taking the time to just noodle on it together early on.
I'm trying to figure it out, you know, and I want to share it with the world.
Thank you.
So if we think about like, okay, so if I were to like mint a token in this auction tomorrow or today later, does that basically gives me some sort of governance token that I can now vote on how money that you make from this coffee project gets spent as a collective DAO.
Yeah,
is that one way to think about this?
Totally, yeah. You minting one of the daily the park DAO tokens enables you to propose ideas to do things that you want to do together with people. It's like we are exploring this public goods idea where people are creating concepts that benefit each other to explore and do fun stuff. And so, yeah, the park DAO has deployed over 150 ETH this year. Like we've, helped support freaking the Fridays at the Park video series. We've helped, throw a rave in the Bay Area. We've done Fridays at the Park in Tokyo. Today, like literally right now, Fridays at the Park is happening in Uganda. Our friend Davin, I'll show you in the Telegram. This is like, he's literally inspired by what we're doing and got people together. They're talking about the internet. They're having coffee. Like,
that's really cool. And he's a member of the DAO?
Yeah, Davin is a part of the DAO, and so are some of these guys in Sowento,
that's so cool.
This crew, and like they're doing this series that we like have been leaning into together to get people together in such a really special way. So Very cool. You purchasing Fridays at the Park token or winning the auction for the day is you being able to participate and share ideas or propose ideas that we spend this money to do fun stuff with.
Right. And just like making money by going to these festivals and selling coffee, Happy Friday Coffee, is just one revenue stream.
Yeah, just one little vertical.
For that treasury.
Yeah.
And it's not owned by any one particular person. There's no like owners that are taking distributions out of that into their pockets.
No.
Paying themselves out every quarter.
No, I mean, we're paying each other for the work that we've done, you know, through proposal that the community.
Right, but everybody has to vote on it.
Yeah, So it's like in August for FWB Fest, the Park DAO, we collectively wrote a proposal to Nouns Builder DAO to ask for 33 ETH to do Fridays at the Park at FWB Fest, bring speakers, other Nouns Builder DAO, like kind of founders or core contributors, to get together to talk about what they've learned the last year, share some of their process, share some of the like blind spots, and we paid, 10 plus people to come from all over the world to come to paid flights for them to come talk and like share their ideas, for us to create a video, produce a video, produce a song. The song that was made from that, Fridays at the Park at FWB Fest that Nouns Builder helped support, had over 2,000 mints on bass. That song is called On Chain Summer. So it's like the group is working on ideas together that are paying each other to do work in continuum. So idea would be that, the park treasury in the future manages millions of dollars just like Nouns does, and we're able to have our frickin' LA Symphony Hall or music space like this that helps educate, share best practices, get people together, form ideas, build businesses, like other verticals are all like driving work together. So you looked at the kind of rubrics that David T. Fung started, and that's kind of like the starting point. And I hope some of that makes sense, but there are like so many different ways to be involved with the park. Some of it could be more food and podcast based by what, you do so well. And some of it could be more music creation. Some of it could be more video. Some of it could be more, supply chain or recyclable things or, there's a lot of different verticals to work on together at Fridays.
Lots of ideas. Very cool. So one of the things like I think about is like equity, equity in hospitality, right? So we're talking about the transparency of being on chain. And you and I were talking last week about Blackbird, who the founder, Ben, was recently at my conference and was kind of talking about this idea of permissionless identities, I guess, is that the right way to frame it? Like on a blockchain that is able to understand who you are as a diner when you move throughout this network of restaurants in your city, or any city really for that matter, and being able to have any restaurant that's opted in on that network acknowledge that.
So cool.
And reward you in real life.
That's
or
so
reward
cool.
you with a token that you can spend on real world benefits, like a special reservations line that, gets you the tables that you want, or giving you, used to be just free dessert, right?
Yeah.
If you're a regular, you get free dessert. But the idea is like
OG model, yeah.
to flip it into something where
we know that Matt's been here 6 times, and Matt went to Sonora Town, is a part of FWB.
Right.
Does the new Bad Mash Aloo brunch, goes to Yeasty Boys, has the ledge latte every once in a while.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And then goes to New York and is at Katz, and Katz is like, whoa, we're not on chain yet, but our uncle, Frank said that Matt, no, just...
Well, let's pull on that thread a little bit more, because I want people to understand like why this is important, because people are pushing back, and saying, well, I still don't understand why he's using Web3. Does he use it to get more money? But I think there's something foundationally different here.
The database is open. It's like, sorry to cut you off, but Ben's a part of companies that created databases that are kind of closed.
Right,
and I think,
and Eater.
Yeah. So I think there is great value to knowing more about all these customers, like you're highlighting that he's doing with Blackbird, is like, people who are participating in communities and spaces and food and beverage around the world should be celebrated, and they should be rewarded, and they should continue to patronize more spots. So it's like, it's good for everybody, for like a marketing level, but it's really just an open database and ledger that's what's pretty radical. Through, because they're using Base to do it, or what are
they're using Base too.
Yeah.
So if we think about like other opportunities for Web3 to play a role in hospitality at a high level, what do you think, having operated a cafe, or still operating a cafe, where do you see, like, beyond the loyalty thing, which we're just talking about with Blackbird, like, could you imagine more use cases for on-chain to play a role in hospitality, restaurants and bars and cafes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the POS, once it's like in Apple Pay or like in the wallet, just like it's like almost right there. There's like an arbitrage for like a smaller percentage fee to the network to happen. Like, 2.5 or 3 or 0.5 or whatever that range is, should really be down around
insane.
Should be really down around 1 or like 0.5 or something, to a network. So there's like, and those percentages are huge over time. So that kind of hopefully goes down in like splitting a check, like liquid payments. I think it's pretty beautiful to know like who could be tipped out right away, or like where that goes.
We're seeing a lot of lawsuits right now, like, I'm not going to name names, but you can look them up, like the restaurant groups that are very well known here that are doing, 18 to 20% just service fees, and it just goes collectively to some pool, and that they're not getting, like, these servers aren't getting tips.
Yeah, it's not being evenly distributed. So you could see even distribution to front and back of house. Like, that's something I would always love to see, because the ballet of a restaurant or a space really takes, a lot of people to make happen, and each role is so important. So servers, dishwashers, everyone should be like pretty equitable in that sharing of tip or service fee or whatever it is. But yeah, I love the rewards. I love the ability for unique art to be created too. Like so much of the generations below us are like very into skins and Fortnite or these like digital avatars or identities for clothing. And so I think some of that digital art will be important for us, as time goes on, and is like really a fun playground for brands or restaurants or cafes or like companies to like interact with customers as well. But yeah, the blockchain on base or on chain, you can't fake it. Like, and so I think that database is pretty radical to have open for people to see, and share and grow and learn and
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing more, applications that aren't just trying to ride the coattails of a trend, right?
Oh,
we saw so many of these. Let's go buy a burger chain, or let's go like what?
What?
Like you never worked.
You're not an operator. You don't have no idea. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, food and beverage is not easy at all.
Right.
Yeah, people should pay more for it, but everyone should make more too. Like it's a combination of things. We're in a very interesting time with like what money is and like what people really earn and what people spend and how hard it is, across industries. So yeah, I don't know how it's all going to be unlocked, but it is an interesting time to be exploring and doing. And it's cool to see Ben and Blackbird doing something and keep going. So the Park DAOs, we're keep going. We're heartful along the whole way, Matt's, he's going. Hungry, it keeps going. We're explorers. FWB, creative explorers. Zaid, legendary explorer.
Dope. So people want to learn more about the park, or you have a consulting business as well. I want to give you like space to promote.
Thanks. Yeah.
For people who want to go down the rabbit, who want to take the blue
deep
pill,
rabbit hole.
The red pill or the blue pill. What is it? The red pill.
There's a lot of different hats that are worn. But the park is why we're really here. At the park on Twitter or Warpcast. The park. Warpcast is, oh no, shouts out to...
How many things do we have to Google in this conversation?
The park. What the fuck? If you go to nouns.build, you can find the park DAO there. Okay. That's a way to get involved on chain together. I'm at Derek G. Taylor on Twitter, at the park on... X, Twitter, what am I saying? I don't know.
Let's keep it old school.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Twitter still redirects, but the app is, I tried to search it on my phone because I'm just so used to like searching for apps. And it didn't come up on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's a hardware device. But yeah.
On the internet protocols known as HTTPS, secured socket layer.
Yeah, all of this NFT Web3 jargon will go away the same way. POP, IMAP, HTTP, it all went away.
Yeah, when I send an email to you, am I thinking about SMTP servers? No, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I mean, at some time we had to really know. Like, to me, the big unlock was POP to IMAP, and once that connected, now nobody thinks about that at all. They log in with their Gmail. It's all fluid across everywhere. Right. That's kind of where we're at with NFTs or digital collectibles or things on chain. Like we're Zora, and the creator toolkit is enabling creative people to hit this like kind of Tumblr moment or Twitter moment where it's fluid. You're not like Blogspot, WordPress, trying to make this
cobble it all together.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
So we're at that exciting area. So yeah, if you want to learn more about the park, it's at the park.
Okay.
Fridays at the park on Instagram. DDDVVV.xyz. My wife and I do some really fun consulting work for digital and food and beverage. But we're just living every day like it's Friday. Happy Friday.
Okay, well, That's a great way to end. Happy Friday. And
Happy Friday.
Happy
Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, this was sick. Thank you.
Really honored.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you're curious to get a first-hand look at the cutting edge of food and tech, check out hungry.tv. That's Hungry with no U, where you can join in on live conversations like these or sign up for the free weekly newsletter.